Formula One is on the verge of an explosion, and at the center of the storm stands one man who is no longer willing to wait quietly in the shadows. Yuki Tsuda's story was once viewed as the typical rise of a talented Japanese driver climbing through the ranks with patience, loyalty, and discipline. But everything has changed. What we are witnessing now is not a normal contract dispute, not a simple transfer rumor, and certainly not another routine paddock controversy. This is the beginning of a rebellion against one of the most powerful organizations in motorsport history. The moment Tsuda realized the road to Red Bull racing was never truly open for him, something inside him snapped. The frustration that had been building for years finally transformed into ambition mixed with anger, and according to multiple insiders, that anger is now fueling the most dangerous move of his entire career. British media reports have already sent shockwaves across the Formula One world after revealing that unofficial talks between Tsuda's camp and rival manufacturers have secretly taken place. Those discussions were not casual conversations. They were high-level meetings involving figures deeply connected to the future power balance of Formula One. Sources close to the paddock claim Tsuda's representatives are no longer exploring backup options. They are actively searching for a complete escape route away from Red Bull and possibly even away from Honda itself. For years, Tsuda remained loyal to the system that developed him, defended him, and carried him into Formula One. But loyalty means nothing in a sport ruled by politics. No matter how impressive his performances became, the path upward always seemed blocked. While Sergio Perez struggled under enormous pressure and Red Bull leadership continued debating their future lineup, Tsuda kept delivering performances that many analysts believed deserved far greater recognition. Data from recent seasons paints a shocking picture. In qualifying sessions, Tsuda repeatedly extracted lap times from his machine that exceeded the expected performance window of the car itself. Engineers inside the paddock quietly began acknowledging what fans had already suspected for months. Tsuda was evolving into something much more dangerous than a midfield driver. His aggressive instincts were becoming refined by consistency and precision. He was no longer reckless. He was becoming complete. Yet despite all of this, Red Bull leadership continued looking elsewhere whenever discussions about future promotions emerged. Veterans were favored. Politics dominated conversations. Sponsorship interests complicated every decision. And slowly, Tsuda began understanding a painful truth about Formula One. Raw speed alone is never enough to guarantee respect. The situation reportedly became even more tense after internal comparisons revealed that Tsuda's tire management efficiency had reached levels approaching Max Verstappen's own performance metrics during several race weekends. Such statistics immediately caught attention inside rival teams. Formula One organizations are obsessed with hidden advantages, and drivers capable of preserving tire life while maintaining aggressive pace are considered gold. Suddenly, Tsuda was no longer just an interesting prospect. He became a strategic asset capable of reshaping a team's future. That is when whispers about Aston Martin, Ferrari, Mercedes, McLaren, and even Audi began spreading throughout the paddock. Audi's name created the biggest reaction of all. The German manufacturer's future works project represents one of the most ambitious new entries into Formula One in years. For a driver like Tsuda, joining such a project would not simply mean changing teams. It would mean becoming the centerpiece of an entirely new era. Sources claim private conversations involving European executives and Japanese intermediaries have already explored what a long-term partnership could look like. And perhaps most importantly, these talks allegedly focused on building a team around Tsuda rather than forcing him to adapt to an existing hierarchy. That possibility changes everything. Inside Red Bull, the atmosphere has reportedly grown increasingly uncomfortable. While Christian Horner publicly avoids discussing speculation surrounding Tsuda's future, insiders suggest tension behind closed doors has intensified dramatically. Helmut Marko, once known for criticizing Tsuda's emotional outbursts and inconsistent behavior, is now said to be deeply unsettled by the driver's transformation. The emotional young racer who once exploded over team radio has evolved into a calm and calculating competitor who rarely reveals his true thoughts publicly. That silence has made him far more dangerous. Rivals no longer know what he is planning. Even Red Bull's own leadership may no longer fully understand where his loyalties stand. And then came the rumor that changed the entire conversation. According to multiple reports circulating through Monaco and Silverstone, Tsuda's representatives allegedly held a private late-night meeting aboard a luxury yacht with executives connected to a major European manufacturer. The details of the meeting remain hidden, but insiders insist the discussions went far beyond salary negotiations. The real focus was strategy. How could a rival project challenge Red Bull's dominance? How could Tsuda become more than just another driver? How could they build a future powerful enough to threaten Verstappen's empire? That possibility alone has sent waves of fear through the paddock. Tsuda understands Red Bull's internal systems better than almost anyone outside the main team. He knows how the organization operates under pressure. He understands their development philosophy, communication structure, and even the hidden weaknesses within the machine itself. If he were to join a rival project, he would carry priceless knowledge with him. And Formula One history has repeatedly shown how dangerous insider information can become when transferred to competing organizations. Meanwhile, another explosive detail has emerged from sources close to the negotiations. Tsuda is reportedly demanding greater control over his personal sponsorship rights and branding structure in future contracts. This may sound like a small business issue to casual fans, but inside Formula One it carries enormous significance. Such demands signal a driver preparing to establish independence from manufacturer influence. In other words, Tsuda may no longer want to be viewed primarily as a Honda-backed Japanese talent. He wants to become a global superstar standing on his own identity and reputation. That mindset represents a massive shift in both confidence and ambition. The emotional impact of this possible separation from Honda cannot be ignored. Honda played a major role in supporting Tsuda's career from the beginning. Japanese fans embraced him as the next great hope for their nation's return to Formula One glory. Walking away from that relationship could trigger backlash from some supporters. But inside elite motorsport, every driver eventually faces a brutal choice between loyalty and survival. Tsuda appears ready to choose survival, even if it means burning bridges behind him. Now the entire Formula One world waits for the next move. One signature could trigger chaos across the grid. One contract could reshape the future balance of power. And one driver who was once underestimated by everyone may soon become the central figure in the sport's biggest power struggle. As tension continues rising behind the scenes, the Formula One paddock has entered a state of paranoia unlike anything seen in recent years. Team principals, engineers, sponsors, and even rival drivers are now watching Yuki Tsuda's every move with intense suspicion because what began as a simple rumor has evolved into a full-scale political crisis capable of changing the sport forever. The deeper insiders investigate the situation, the clearer it becomes that Tsuda's secret negotiations are not only about securing a faster car or a bigger salary. This is about power, revenge, and the complete destruction of the limitations that once controlled his career. For years, he was treated as a talented but unstable driver who needed guidance, discipline, and patience. Now those same people are beginning to fear they may have created a monster powerful enough to threaten the entire structure they built around him. The biggest reason for this growing panic is simple. Tsuda's performances over the last season have reached levels that can no longer be ignored or explained away. During several races, telemetry comparisons reportedly revealed that his corner exits and tire preservation numbers were competing with the strongest drivers on the grid despite operating in machinery considered significantly weaker. Engineers studying the data became alarmed by how aggressively he could attack while still maintaining control over tire degradation. That combination is extremely rare in modern Formula One. Most drivers sacrifice one advantage to gain another. Tsuda somehow began mastering both simultaneously. Some insiders even compared certain elements of his driving evolution to the early development stages of Max Verstappen himself. Those comparisons immediately sent shockwaves through rival organizations. Inside Red Bull, however, the response reportedly remained frustratingly cold. Christian Horner continued avoiding direct endorsement of Tsuda as a future replacement option, while Helmut Marko allegedly maintained private doubts about whether the Japanese driver truly fit the political image Red Bull wanted moving forward. Those decisions may ultimately become catastrophic mistakes. Because while Red Bull hesitated, rival manufacturers quietly moved closer. Aston Martin intensified internal evaluations regarding future lineup possibilities. Audi representatives reportedly expanded communication channels with individuals connected to Tsuda's management. Even Mercedes insiders began monitoring the situation closely as uncertainty around future driver markets continued growing. Suddenly, Tsuda was no longer a backup option. He became one of the most desired strategic targets in Formula One. Then came another stunning revelation from inside the paddock. According to multiple sources familiar with the matter, Tsuda may have already participated in highly confidential simulator sessions connected to another manufacturer's future project. If true, the implications are enormous. Such actions could potentially violate internal agreements and destroy remaining trust between Tsuda and Red Bull. But perhaps that is exactly the point. Those close to the situation claim Tsuda no longer cares about repairing the relationship. In fact, some believe he wants Red Bull to understand clearly that their opportunity to secure his loyalty has already passed. The emotional transformation inside Tsuda has become impossible to ignore. Fans who once saw him as emotional and unpredictable are now witnessing a colder and more focused competitor emerging under pressure. His interviews have become more controlled. His reactions during races appear calmer. But behind that silence, insiders believe a deep resentment has been building for years. Every ignored performance, every delayed promotion, every public criticism from Red Bull leadership may have slowly fueled the anger now driving his decisions. Formula One is filled with talented drivers, but the most dangerous competitors are often those carrying something personal inside them. And according to many within the paddock, Tsuda is no longer racing only to win championships. He is racing to prove an entire system wrong. The possibility of Tsuda joining Audi continues, generating the strongest reactions because of what it symbolizes for the future of Formula One. Audi's upcoming project is expected to become one of the sport's largest factory-backed operations, and they are actively searching for drivers capable of leading a long-term championship rebuild. Tsuda's technical feedback, adaptability, and growing maturity make him an ideal candidate for such an environment. More importantly, Audi reportedly sees him not only as a driver but as the face of a new era capable of attracting both Asian and global audiences. That level of influence would give Tsuda something Red Bull never truly offered him: complete trust and central importance within the organization. At the same time, rumors involving Ferrari and McLaren refuse to disappear. Ferrari's ongoing search for long-term stability after years of internal turbulence has reportedly led them to examine several emerging stars across the grid. McLaren, meanwhile, remains obsessed with securing drivers capable of extracting maximum performance under unpredictable race conditions. Tsuda's recent performances have forced both teams to take notice, whether publicly admitted or not. And that growing interest only increases his leverage during negotiations. But perhaps the most explosive part of this entire story is the growing belief that Tsuda may possess internal knowledge capable of helping a rival team directly challenge Red Bull's dominance. Formula One is a sport built on microscopic advantages. Information about development philosophy, aerodynamic behavior, operational weaknesses, and race management systems can become priceless weapons when transferred across organizations. Tsuda spent years inside the Red Bull structure learning how the empire operates from within. If he chooses to weaponize that knowledge elsewhere, the consequences could reshape the competitive balance of Formula One for years to come. The psychological pressure inside Red Bull is reportedly becoming intense. Some insiders claim leadership figures are now questioning whether delaying Tsuda's promotion may have created a long-term strategic disaster. Losing a talented driver is painful enough. Losing that driver to a rival manufacturer determined to overthrow your dominance is something far worse, especially when that driver understands your internal structure better than almost anyone outside the organization itself. Now the sport stands at a crossroads. One decision could ignite a chain reaction affecting driver markets, sponsorship alliances, manufacturer rivalries, and even championship battles for years ahead. The next contract signed behind closed doors may become the moment historians later point to as the beginning of Formula One's next great war. And at the center of that storm stands Yuki Tsuda, the driver once dismissed as too emotional, too reckless, and too immature to lead the future. Today, the same man may become the one capable of tearing down the empire that underestimated him from the very beginning.